Hi beautiful people, welcome to our VIP program, the Divine by Therese Kerr VIP program. Today I'm so blessed to share someone who I absolutely adore with you. Delia McCabe is a very dear friend of mine and a wellness advocate as well. And you know, Delia, I know everything that you do, I know how amazing you are. But what I would love you to do is to share with the people watching this and reading our VIP email and listening to this, who you are and what you do.
Thank you, Therese. Thank you for having me here. I believe that we should eat really well to feed our brains. And when you feed your brain really well, the rest of your body's healthy as well.
So true.
So I did my master's to practice the talking cure as a therapist, and then decided that I couldn't pursue that because if your brain is malnourished, you can't really live your best life. You can't think positive, happy thoughts because your brain's hungry. And I really want people to understand that when you feed your brain well, you can live the best life possible.
So true. Delia has an amazing website. What's your website, Delia?
DeliaHealth.com.
Okay, and it's something that you really need to visit because she's absolutely amazing in what she does. And what we're about at Divine is sharing all of these beautiful, wonderful health practitioners with you so that you can have the ability to make informed choices for your health. And again, take from everything we do what serves you, leave what doesn't, but at least be left with the ability to make informed choices. Delia, another question, and I just want to really showcase you and who you are. And what I would love to know is, a lot of people start on this journey to health, and there's certain aha moments. My aha moment was when I had tumours in my spleen, and I had to have my spleen removed. Now, what was the reason you became interested in health? Have you always been interested in health, or is it a particular journey you've had?
It's a good question. I think I'm one of the lucky ones. I grew up with a mum who made salads and sprouts before sprouts were even fashionable.
Wow, it's amazing.
So I was really lucky. But I think for me, I had a huge aha moment when I realized that the food that I was eating was impacting my brain every single day. And I became really fussy about the kinds of food that I ate, especially fats and oils. And then I became passionate about sharing that information because so many people are battling with things like anxiety and depression and stress. And I think
So
that if
true.
they learn to eat really well, then they can miss all of that disaster. So for me, that was my aha moment when I started doing really in-depth research into what the brain needs to work well.
And it does. It requires so much nutrition and also incredible fats, and that's what you really specialise in. You've really made that your speciality, and it's so interesting. The more I delve into it, the more incredible I find it. I guess like another, I'm all about making a difference and being a contribution, and I know you are, and anyone who is in this industry really, is driven to make a difference. And
Absolutely.
I guess if there's three things that you can share with our listeners, that if you could change the world, what are three things that you would bring into practice straight away and have people do for themselves?
Well, I suppose the first thing is I'd make them really be aware of the fact that they should eat to feed their brain well. And that is really importantly, the fats and oils would be the first step. The second thing is think about what they're putting on their bodies, because their body absorbs that.
Yes,
and that
exactly.
affects them even if they're not aware of it. And the third one is really beautiful, because if you look after what you eat and you look after what you put on your body, you're looking after the planet, because you're not damaging the waterways, the soil will be clean. So two things lead to a wonderful thing that we can all benefit from.
And we all really have that responsibility, and for not only ourselves but for future generations. And as you know, I'm so into health and wellness. I take a holistic approach to health and wellness, so it's a physical, emotional and spiritual. And it really is about giving your body incredible nutrition, incredible nutrients, feeding your brain, feeding your body, and also what you put on your skin is so important because of the impact on our bodies and on our cells. So we can go into more of that. I know we're going to speak a lot about that on our webinar that we're going to hold on the 15th of July.
Yes.
So do you want to share a little bit about that in relation to the cellular side of it?
I'm really excited to do that because I think that people aren't really always aware of exactly how the pesticides and the chemicals affect them. They know that they do, but they don't really understand from a cellular point of view. And I've broken it down into a really simple explanation so that people will look at it and go, aha, now I understand.
Right.
And I'm really excited to share that, because then they'll understand why eating organic food is important. They'll understand why putting good things on your body is important. And they'll also understand why it's affecting the environment so much. So for me, that's going to be a big thing. Thank you.
Well, I'm excited to have you as part of our webinar. So that's on the 15th of July, everyone. So make sure you register for that. There'll be details on our website and on Delia's website in regard to that particular webinar, and we can't wait to share that with you. Now, Delia, you know, I love to showcase the people behind the wellness side of us. You know, we're all just normal human beings. You know, we're all human beings being human, although I believe we're spiritual beings having a human experience a lot of the times. So you're a mum, so why is it important, you know, for the mums out there to really nurture their children's health and to know and to educate themselves as to what are great things that they can adopt into their lives as such to really support their children?
I think when mothers realize that they hold the power in the home, they make the decisions, and they can give their children valuable habits that they carry on into their lives. And so you start a legacy when you start feeding your children really well that they carry into their families. So I think mothers need to be very aware of that power, and they need to wield that power with great responsibility and teach by example. I think a lot of mothers would love their children to eat well, but they don't really know how to eat well themselves. So they need to educate themselves, and then there is a spillover effect, and the children learn, because children see much better than they hear. So once you're doing that, the kids really say, "Oh, hold on a second, that's good." And it's easiest to do that when your children are young.
Yes, exactly.
But when your children are older, you can still do it, and I would still encourage women to do that, even if their children are teenagers. Children still observe and they look, and they still look up to their parents.
Definitely. There's never a wrong time to start implementing healthy ways and healthy practices into our lives. And my goal is, especially with young mums, to empower them to make healthy choices. And then we have healthy kids. And even young people, I do a lot of events all over Australia now, and when I see young people there, it just lights me up, because I know that, you know, the children that they're going to have, especially if they look after and nurture their body at that cellular level, if they give their body all the nutrition it needs, then they're going to have beautiful, healthy children. And we're transforming how we move forward with our diet, because unfortunately we live in such a highly refined, highly processed, high trans fat, high sugar content world. And what we need to do is empower people to make healthy choices. And what we do as mums, and I believe mums have the ability to transform the world without purchasing our buying power. And what we do is the best that we know at the time.
Yes.
And it's all about educating and learning and applying things in your life, one step at a time. I guess, Delia, sometimes things seem a bit overwhelming for people. You know, people can get overwhelmed in relation to what they're actually putting in their body, and the pesticides and the insecticides, the MSG, the aspartame, the excitotoxins that MSG and aspartame are, the additives. And have you got any like little steps that people can take, like some advice in regard to what they can do to implement little changes in their life?
It's a good question, because it's hard to make too many changes at once, because when you do, then everything falls off. So I think for me, because of my passion for fats and oils, I would really suggest that people just buy fats and oils that are pure and clean and organic.
And so which are the best ones?
Well, you want to buy things that are as close to nature as possible. So you don't want to have margarines. You don't want to have any shelf-stable cooking oils. You want to have things like cold-pressed organic flax oils and coconut oils that are organic, and 100% organic even primrose oil.
Right.
And olive oil that isn't denatured with toxic fats. So if those are the fats that you're using in your home, and pure butter as well.
Yes, exactly. There's a huge misconception that butter is bad for you.
Yes.
Certified organic butter is actually good for you.
Absolutely.
And our body needs that as well. Another a thing that I really try to share with people is that we should really only cook with coconut oil, because it's a medium chain fatty acid that remains stable when heated. People think that they can cook with olive oil. Do you have any thoughts regarding that?
Look, there are three main categories of fats and oils, and I can go into a lot of depth about that. But the most important thing for people to take away is that saturated fats, which are both animal origin and plant origin, like palm kernel or coconut or even cocoa butter. They are the most stable oils. So if you remember that saturated fats are stable, then those are the best ones to cook with.
Okay,
So
great.
even Granny that used to cook with lard, you know, people used to say, oh, that's it's so dangerous. That saturated fat was more stable than olive oil is, simply because of the chemical structure. So definitely cook with coconut oil or cook with butter, but don't even do that too often, because all fat gets damaged when it gets heated.
So Delia, another question that I wanted to ask is, what are your goals for the future?
Well, I'd love the whole world to eat brain-friendly foods, and yeah, that's a good goal to have.
It is a great goal.
But I really feel for women today, because women are juggling so many different roles, and I feel that many women are stressed, they're anxious, they're becoming depressed because they're finding it really hard to manage this incredibly stressful life that we've created for ourselves. So I feel a strong need to help women with programs to manage that stress, to learn to become cool, calm and collected amidst it all.
So you have programs, don't you, on your website?
I'm busy working towards that.
Okay, great.
And
Well, I'm excited. You really have to avail yourself of this information that Delia has.
Thank you.
Yeah, so very, very exciting. So the programs are going to be about, empowering women to make healthy choices.
Absolutely. I want them to learn how they can feed their brains really well to make them resilient against stress.
Okay.
So that they become powerful in doing all the things that they want to do, in feeding their families well and in nurturing themselves.
That's so important, definitely. A great friend of mine, Dr. Libby Weaver, who I just adore, like I adore you, Libby says, we are living too short and dying too long. And what a powerful statement. Human beings, as mammals, we're the only mammals who don't live our life expectancy. It is said that our cells have the ability to live to 124, yet how many of us do that? And why do we do what we do, is another saying Libby has as well. Why do we continue to do what we do when we know what we know? And I think they're both very powerful statements. What are your thoughts in regard to living too short and dying too long? Sorry.
I think it is a very powerful statement, and I think basically it means that we've been propped up by medicine as we get older, and we're not taking responsibility for our own health. And I think once we realize that we have the responsibility and we should take it and we should make better choices, we'll be living into a ripe old age and living with goals and focus and passion, which we should be doing. And I think, when you're really healthy, you never think about your body.
No, true. It just comes naturally to you. And what I find is so interesting, since I have tumours in my spleen and now I feed myself certified organic, and I go to the farmers markets to get that. So it's not that expensive to eat. A lot of people feel that it's very expensive to eat really well, but what we find is when you fill your body with nutrients, you don't crave food.
Absolutely.
So your actual demand for food is less, so it costs less.
Yeah, because you're eating nutrient-dense food. You're not feeding yourself with fake calories. So yeah, absolutely. And then you don't have to prop yourself up with medicine. You're propping yourself up with fantastic food.
Yeah.
And that's what it should be.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a good statement. And I think if we take that to heart, we'll be making better decisions.
We will be.
And that's what we want to do. We want to empower people to make better choices.
Exactly. So that you can actually, become educated and make incredible choices for your health and the health of your family. What I just want to finish today is that it's been so exciting to have you as part of our program. You contribute to our blog. We'll be doing webinars together, and again, the 15th of July is when we'll be doing that. So excited to share you with our audience, and I'm so blessed to call you my friend.
Thank you, Teresa. I feel exactly the same. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, people, for listening. Thank you for allowing us the grace of your listening and allowing us to present to you what we are so very passionate about. Until next month, we'll see you then.
Boy.